Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Prosecute this corrupt or allegedly corrupt judge, this person called Yashwant Varma. I'm not saying this. This is said by the Bombay's Lawyers Association. Bombay Lawyer Association urges the Chief Justice of India that Baba, prosecute this man for allegedly corrupt activities, for allegedly having huge amount of cash piled in his house. The question I ask today is a very serious one. I'm not going to dwell on this particular subject for a long time because we've done enough of editorial on that. What I'm going to talk to you about is our judiciary. What I'm going to talk to you about is how our judiciary is rotting. That's my subject for the day. Let's get right into the show. So, this Yashwant Varma, he happened to be the judge in Delhi High Court, and one day a fire happened in his house, and when people went to extinguish the fire, they found piles of cash. Some say 5 crores, some say 15 crores, piles of cash. The police couldn't do Panchanama. I've done an entire report on that. Please do have a look at it. The police couldn't do Panchanama because one of his assistant came and told the police, "Abhi nahi, baad mein aao, chalo." Delhi police said okay and went back. The next day they came. Spot Panchanama is supposed to be done then. If it happens in your house, it would have been done then. But it's a judge's house. Police went back. Police came next day morning. Then also he said, "Abhi nahi, time nahi hai." Later on. Now the question was, were there cash? Was there no cash? Initially, the fire brigade said, yes, there was cash. Then they said there was no cash. Then they said, we never said there was no cash. So all this happened. The then CJI instituted a 3-member bench to investigate this case. This 3-member bench investigated the case, and this 3-member bench found that he was accused of. There's a lot of relevance to it. There's a lot of truth to it. And then we are now waiting for the next step. Imagine a situation where a person was found with 5, 15, 20, whatever crores of cash in his house, and everybody is waiting. Ab kya hoega? What to do next? Some people say he may be impeached. Some people say that. Some people say that, investigation has to go on. Some people, what has happened to him? He was transferred from Delhi High Court to Allahabad High Court, which is not a small High Court. He was transferred from Delhi High Court to Allahabad High Court, and he was asked to sit at home and wait till, all of this gets cleared. That is what his punishment was. Imagine it was you. This would have happened to you. Do you know what would have happened? First, income tax would have raided. Second, ED would have been in your house. Third, CBI would have been in your house. By now, you would have been in jail. And possibly, you would have been languishing in the jail without even a bail if ED comes and arrests you. Without even a bail, you would have been languishing. And then they would have decided, kaisa aaya, kyun aaya, paisa aaya, kya nahi aaya, kya. All that, they would have decided that you would have been in jail. But that judge, he's living in a bungalow which is paid by our tax money. He's got all his servants and all his paraphernalias paid by our tax money. And the government is deciding, अभी क्या करने का? Impeach करने का क्या? कि नहीं करने का? Government is deciding. Why? He's a judge. He's not a common citizen, no? He is the golden citizen. So, things are different for him. Common citizen, things are different. This is the reality, and this is what I'm going to talk about in my today's editorial. You see, I'll tell you the status of our judiciary before I get into my topic. And as usual, I will just take you through some headlines, okay, to prove my point, and then I will get into my editorial. 2017, November 10th, an article says, bribery in judge's name. Supreme Court sets up bench of 5 senior judges. Judges arrested for corruption charges. April 6th, 2018. Anti-Corruption Bureau arrest Pune local judge in bribery case. This is April 1st, 2021. High Court upholds termination of a judge who took bribe to acquit a POCSO accused. POCSO accused. He took money, this judge took money to let a person who has molested a child free. He took money for that. He is the judge. CBI catches 30,000 judge taking bribe from lawyer. Rupees 94 lakh seized. 94 lakh rupees this man took bribe. 30,000 court, Delhi. CBI caught. Senior civil judge Rachna Tiwari Lakhanpal caught red-handed taking bribe. Sent to judicial demand. Himachal Pradesh judge dismissed from service for taking bribe in check bounce case. December 2nd, 2021. Bribe for bail. Delhi Anti-Corruption Unit flagged judge's involvement. And what High Court did is transfer him. Not catch him, not put him behind bars, transfer the man. So that is what happens. Judge who promised bail for rupees 5 lakhs does not get bail himself. This was May 19, 2025, latest. I want to talk to you about 6 judges. 6 judges. 3 judges who faced impeachment, who could have faced impeachment, they didn't get impeached. And 3 judges who could have faced serious prosecution, they didn't face it. I'm going to talk about 6 judges. I'm going to read this so that I don't go wrong, but this is very, very important for my editorial. You see, in 1993, Justice V. Ramaswamy of the Supreme Court became the first judge to face an impeachment motion for allegedly spending, hear this, allegedly spending an excessive amount of funds for his official residence when he was the Chief Justice of a High Court. Even though the Judicial Committee constituted by the Speaker found Ramaswamy guilty on 11 out of the 14 charges, the removal motion failed in Lok Sabha. 11 out of the 14 charges, Ramaswamy was found guilty, but he was not impeached. Imagine if this was a common man. I'll take you through the next case. In 2009, Karnataka High Court Chief Justice P.D. Dinakaran had an impeachment motion against him successfully passed in the Rajya Sabha for possessing assets greater than his legal source of income. Even as the Judicial Commission was investigating the charges against him, he resigned in 2011. He resigned. But end of the day, what? No prosecution, no legal case. He had assets more than his sources. He had assets more than his sources. Where did that asset come from? Obviously, we all know where that asset came from. But nothing happened to him. I'll give you the third case. In 2011, an impeachment motion was moved against Justice Soumitra Sen of the Calcutta High Court for misappropriation of public funds. A motion for his removal was passed by the Rajya Sabha, but he resigned before it came up before the Lok Sabha. So he was not impeached, he resigned and went. Paisa mil gaya, he resigned and he went home. Case closed. This is easy. You make tons of money and then when you are impeached or somebody talks about it, resign and go home and say, bhul jao. The government forgets about it. Would this happen to a common man? Let's talk about criminal prosecutions. In 1976, the Central Bureau of Investigation booked K. Veeraswamy, the Chief Justice of Madras High Court, under the Prevention of Corruption Act, 1947. This followed a first motion report detailing his assets having increased beyond his known source of income. After becoming Chief Justice, the Central Bureau of Investigation filed a charge sheet and a trial judge took cognizance of the matter after Veeraswamy's retirement. He challenged the constitutionality of the trial in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court dismissed his appeal and held 1991 that judges are public servants under the Prevention of Corruption Act, but ruled that the Chief Justice of India's advice was necessary before registering a criminal case commencing prosecution against a High Court or a Supreme Court judge. However, Veeraswamy died in 2010 while the case against him was pending. The man went. God called him. But our prosecution, our judicial system couldn't. I would say they delayed this case. They delayed this case because they didn't want that judge to go behind bars. Clear case of corruption. Clear case of corruption. And here the government says that a judge is also public servant. Public servant, my lord, my God, the public servant. Okay, let's go next. Let's go to another case. This is all thanks to Scroll. This is all information that we got from the Scroll. So thanks to Scroll. In March 2003, the Central Bureau of Investigation, while investigating the staff of the Delhi Development Authority, found files that implicated Justice Shamit Mukherjee of the Delhi High Court in allegedly colluding with officials of the authority and a private litigant to fix a case. The CBI approached the Chief Justice of India, who asked Mukherjee to resign. Subsequently, the CBI charged him under the Prevention of Corruption Act. Mr. Mukherjee was taken into custody for a week. That's it. That's it. For all the fixing that he did, 1 week. Nothing happened to him. See the difference in the way law operates. August 2008, corruption allegations against Justice Nirmal Yadav of Punjab and Haryana High Court merged when a bribe meant for her was mistakenly delivered to another judge. A Supreme Court in-house inquiry confirmed the mix-up. In 2011, the Chief Justice of India sanctioned prosecution against Yadav and the CBI charged her on the day of her retirement. Now let me tell you, the case of Mukherjee, which I spoke to you earlier on, Yadav Shukla, judge I just spoke to you about, all pending in the courts. All pending in the courts, and it will be pending. It will be pending. None of these people are going to be punished. At least that is what it looks like. And that is what a normal person will be telling you, that none of these people will be punished. You see, the issue, and a lot of people and a lot of experts may write a lot of reasons why Yashwant Varma is not prosecuted, or there's Mukherjee, Yadav Shukla and others are not prosecuted. Other stories that a lot of people will tell you a lot of things. As a layman, I want to just ask one question. I am told that law is not just about doing justice. It is also about being seen as justice being done. As a layman, I don't see justice being done. That is the point I wanted to make. And what the High Court says, that the judge is a public servant? Are these just words? Are these just words when you make a judge sit like a king, like God, and you say, my Lord, and my God, and my prayer, my... On what? Why? Why? Are you trying to say that the judge cannot command respect? Is that why? That he has to demand for it? What am I trying to prove? I'm trying to prove with all of this that this is the condition of your judiciary. This is the condition of your judiciary. And when I talk about the judiciary, you remember this picture in mind. This is a woman who lost her son. Fighting for his father, fighting a case for his father, trying to get justice for his father. She lost her son. Her father is in the jail. And I want you to see this woman. That's it, this woman. She's pleading in front of a judge. I've told this before and I tell you this now. This is the picture one should remember when one talks about Indian judiciary. Those judges helped her. They gave her a date and all of that. But you know what? The judge didn't feel like telling her, Madam, don't fold hands in front of me. I am not God. I am normal judge. My salary comes through your tax money. My privileges comes through your tax money. The electricity that I use, the chair that I am sitting in is all paid by your tax money. So don't fold your hands in front of me. I am not your God. I am just another citizen like you. You are doing your job for this country. I am doing my job for this country. Both of us are working. We are contributing to the society. You do a job, I do a job. Your job could be different than mine. So I am not a bigger citizen than you are. The judge never felt the need of saying that. The judge, she folded her hands and possibly, like him, why one judge? Most of the judges are used to that. My question tonight is, why call a judge my lord? Why should we call a judge my lord? Colonialism is gone. A lot of people talk, no, why English, why Hindi, why Britisher, why are we behaving like, why are we calling a judge my lord? He is doing his job, we are doing ours. And he is not doing a great job anyways, he or she. These are the people who writes our fate. These are the people who decides whether you will be hanged or not. These are the people who decides whether a rapist has raped a young little kid or not. And you have instances where they have taken money to let that who possibly raped a young child free. These are the people, my lord. You see, what really happens, and the reason I want to bring this topic in front of you, you see, this is how we created a Brahminical society. A Brahminical society was created when you said that one caste is closer to God. They can directly interact with God. So you would call him Brahman Maharaj, Brahman Devata. That is how you would address a Brahman. And that is how Brahmins got elevated, and he started suppressing, or that particular community started suppressing the others. I'm not saying every Brahman does it. I'm not saying Brahmins are doing it now. I'm saying this is how our society was made. This is how our society became what it became. This is how one caste, then you had the Kshatriyas, then you had, this is how the caste system was divided. This is how oppression started. We finished one cycle, we are starting a new one. We are creating another Brahminical society where people like these judges are holier than thou. You fold your hands in front of them, fall at their feet, call them my Lord, my God, my great God, my supreme God. This is what's happening. You make a person who stands in front of the judge feel like a smaller citizen. Why? Because he is a petitioner. He could be a petitioner, he could be an accused. Even if he is a convict, he is a convict. He could be a bad man. That doesn't mean he is smaller to the judge. The point that I am trying to make is, let us understand the fact that we are creating this new society, and in this new society, the same Brahminical system is being followed. And here, the Brahmins are the politicians, the judges, and the administrative officers. Look at this young IAS officer. Look at this young IAS officer trying to kind of, inquire about a child's health. And you look at the way he is standing. That's a hospital bed that he is putting his leg on. You created him. You created him because a collector or a SDM who is supposed to serve the people, it is the people who serve them. These judges, these administrative officers are almost like an entitled soul. They behave like superior citizens of this country. They are the golden batch. And the poorer you are, the lower denomination you get. If you have money, you can use them, you can approach them, you can get them. That is, I am not saying this. It was Supreme Court judge who said this. When the rich and the powerful goes to court, the rules change. The courts go accommodate whatever to ensure that these people are accommodated. I didn't say this. So it is like you are the politician, the judges, the executive, the three pillars of democracy, top, golden panel. Then you have people with a lot of money who can easily use them. And as your income goes down, as your socio-economic classification level goes down, you are in the last part of the pyramid. You are in the last space of the pyramid. Exactly like the Brahminical society. I hope I am able to communicate what I want to. And we are going to be that. We saw a Brahminical state. Now we are going to see an administrative, stroke political, stroke judicial state. These constitutional positions, these people with power will be sitting on our head, and we will be made to walk with a spittoon in front of us and a broom behind us. This is going to happen. And that's the warning I wanted to give. It's high time we look at reforms. It's high time that we see a judge as a person who is doing his job, exactly like we see a collector who is doing his job or a secretary who is doing his job. The same way a clerk is doing his, a havaldar is doing his, or a bank manager is doing his. Each of us are doing our jobs. And we each should start respecting each other's job. If I respect a judge, the judge needs to respect me. That's what democracy is. What is this dichotomy? Why this dichotomy? What gives the judge to be a larger person than we are? So the point that I'm trying to make is, it is high time we realize that giving these superior titles, these superior positions, this superior manifestation of being a superior or larger or bigger than the other human beings or other human mortals, these kind of positions, these kind of images, these kind of words, these kind of acts should be avoided. Let a judge be a common person. And the reason why I even brought about this topic in front of you is, listen, you know what? The judiciary system is our North Star. The judiciary system is a society's North Star. It is the judiciary that shows us the direction. It is supposed to be the judiciary that shows us the direction. It is supposed to be the judiciary that tells us that this is the path we need to take. It is the judiciary that we can hope to correct our democracy if we are going astray. If a politician goes astray, we can run to the judiciary. If an executive goes astray, we can run to the judiciary. If anything goes astray, we can run to the judiciary. Now imagine the judiciary being corrupt, and which it is getting. Imagine the judiciary is seen as this ideology judiciary, that ideology judiciary that supports this particular ideology, that judiciary that supports another ideology. If even judiciary starts behaving like a political party, this judge will always be in favor of X ideology, this judge will always favor the Y ideology. We are seeing all of that, isn't it? We saw recently, we see a lot of judges. A lot of judges nowadays are very closely associated with certain political cultural ideology. Our judiciary system is rotting. It is the last frontier as far as our guarding of our democracy is concerned. If that rots, and if that becomes porous, and if that starts getting decimated, believe me you, it is the end of our democracy. Believe me you, we have nothing to look forward to. We have nothing to look forward to. We will turn into some weird social order, some weird system of governance. And at this time, it looks quite likely. Last point I wanted to make is, a friend of mine came to me yesterday, a very dear friend of mine, and she tells me that, listen, you know what, Sujit, why do you always talk negative? We would like to hear a lot of positive things from people. We want to hear positive. She referred to some jingoistic YouTubers or whatever and said that, look at them. I feel good when we hear them. You see, let me tell this is what I told her, and I want to tell some audience who would possibly thinking the same. You see, my job is not to make my audience feel good. That is not my job. I don't act in movies. Neither do I do a stand-up comedy show. My job is not entertaining my viewers. My job is to show what I see is going wrong in our society. I do that at the risk of getting raided. I do that at the risk of getting legal notices. I do that at the risk of getting my staff arrested. All of this, what I just told you, happened to my life. And we don't earn a huge bunch of money. So with whatever we earn, we maintain that too. But my job, and I continue to do that, is to show you what the society and where the society is going wrong, at least from my point of view. I will continue to do it. The day I want to stop it, that day I will stop this editorial. I will stop this editorial, because then this editorial is worth nothing. Because if you want to see good things, there are government websites. There are different websites. Please go to those websites and watch. They only say good things about themselves. No government website will say bad things about themselves. No, they will only say good things about themselves. You go to political leaders and ministers and prime ministers' channels, websites, Twitter, they will all say good things about what they have done. Go read all that. Why do I duplicate that and waste your time? You have the option to read all that. The platform that I am in, the same platform, you will find all of those too. Why should I be analyzing good when they can analyze their own good and come in front of you and talk to you? So I will continue to say things that I see wrong in this society. And like I said, if any of you all are watching this for entertainment, do not. Don't waste your time, because I'm not going to do that. I will tell you the truth. And that may not necessarily be a feel-good 15 minutes of talk. That's the point I wanted to make. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Namaskar.